Now we're cooking! Welcome to our final episode during Golf Week on Now We're Cooking, the cooking show for kids of all ages. My name is Aunt Annie.
And I'm Grandma Jayne.
And we have had a full myriad of things to make for a golf menu that we've made for you today. I think we saved enough things we can do next year for a golf week. But our final thing is we need some kind of dessert with our little culinary treats that we made today. And so we decided to make something that has to do with the history of golf. So the history of golf is dated back to the Middle Ages. Back in, even before 1574, the first game of golf was played over at St. Andrews, Scotland. So it's considered to be the country that kind of basically invented golf. That's where American modern golf developed and had originated from over there. They developed the 18-hole course, excuse me. It's kind of considered a pilgrimage to go over to St. Andrews. I know when I was going to go last over to England and take my brother, he wanted to while he was in the area of the United Kingdom, he wanted to take a pilgrimage to St. Andrews because he is a golfer and would have enjoyed that. But again, we wanted you to know the history of it over in Scotland. 18-hole course. Again, I want you to also understand that the word links is another word for golf. Okay? A lot of people don't understand when they say head out to the links. Something about the sport that has to do with links. That is golf. Okay? Links is golf. So again, if you wanted to go over to take a pilgrimage over to the St. Andrews 18 course links or links course, that would be St. Andrews 18-hole links course, golf course. Okay? So, in honor of the history or the origin of golf, we're going to make something Scottish. So we're going to make SCOTcheroos, okay? This is a wonderful dessert. We don't need to involve the oven, and so we decided this would be a good one to teach you. It's an awful lot like the Rice Krispie bars that Jayne has already taught you how to make regular and with some gummy bears, or Sour Patch Kids, I guess we use, not gummy bears. So she's going to take it away now and make us some SCOTcheroos.
Okay, I've already got a stick of butter that I've melted in that pan. And to that, I'm going to add 1 cup white or white corn syrup. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit so you can start cooking. Because you need it to boil for about a minute or so. And then 1 cup sugar, and mix it all together. And we'll get it boiling here. And while that's getting started, I used 6 cups of Rice Krispies, and I already measured those out in a big bowl. As soon as it's boiling, I'm going to take it off the stove and add 1 cup of creamy peanut butter. You can use crunchy as well if you want to. And then for the frosting, I usually use a cup of butterscotch chips and a cup of chocolate chips. And so I'll go ahead and put that in to melt a little more. I started them. I never usually melt more than 20 or 30 seconds at a time, because if you melt them too fast, they get hard. They just don't melt it all together. So this is easier.
They're really easy to burn.
I know it. And you can't, like, you scrape around the sides and they're just burnt like, ugh. And it's a waste, so you don't want to do that because, you know, nothing's cheap anymore, seems like.
There's nothing worse than burnt chocolate.
Yeah. No matter how much you love chocolate, right? And I still need to get a little more going there. I've also greased a 9x13 pan, so that's ready to have them poured into after we mix them together. Then I'm gonna get a wooden spoon. I don't know why.
There's one here, dear.
Is there one there?
I just washed it.
Oh, okay. I like a wooden spoon when I get mixing it all together. So just gotta make this.
Who are some famous golfers that you know of, Jayne, while we're waiting?
Well, Payne Stewart was an excellent golfer. He was my age. In 1999, he was flying with his crew, and the had air pressure trouble in their plane, and they all froze to death. They went to sleep and froze to death, and it crashed.
Oh,
My mom was ironing. Seems like she's always ironing when something happens like that. And it crashed in South Dakota pasture. They were monitoring it, and Mom was listening to the news while they did, because they didn't want it to crash into like a neighborhood or anything. But he was notorious at wearing knickers all the time, and he had some troubles, spells in his life, but he was getting it back together. And it was just such a tragedy, you know.
What a shame.
Yeah, he won several tournaments, and
So he wore like kind of the old type of
yes, yep, and
knickers and maybe a tam.
Yep, the tan with it and everything. That was sort of his, statement.
I know down when I went to see Tina, my friend, and Jerry down in West Palm, I think Jack and Barb Nicholas, his wife, lived down in that area, and they did lots of charitable work down there in West Palm. He was an excellent player, about the same time of age range of Arnold Palmer. He was coming on after Arnie, I think, Jack Nicholas, and I know more. Let's see, there was Lee Trevino,
Trevino,
Lee Trevino, Ernie Els. Who else can you think of?
Who was
Tiger Woods, of course.
Rodriguez? Wasn't there like a Zorro?
Yeah.
I can't. The name, but of course Jack Nicholas, yeah, and Arnie.
Tiger Woods, who's broken umpteen records.
My folks always liked him since it was just a kid, Did you have a lot of fun too playing golf in your day?
Well, again, the first time I played golf, I only played 9 holes. And I don't know if I get bored with it or what my deal is. I need lots of action. That's probably why I like softball and tennis. I had a 52 on my first 9 holes of golf. So people thought I had promised, because obviously that's not really good, but for your first time around, people said I had a nice natural swing.
Yeah.
And that they thought I'd really get it if I stuck to it, but I just didn't have the desire.
Did you play in high school?
Oh no, I played tennis.
Oh.
But I just didn't have the desire. It kind of bores me. It frustrates me. I think I'd have to play a lot to get good at it, and
you have to spend a lot of time on the course.
I have more fun just like walking around with people that do golf.
And I have fun in tournaments because it's like a best shot.
Yeah.
You don't rely on your own shot all the time.
Now that I would enjoy.
Chamber tournaments and stuff like that.
Because then, even people that chop away at it like myself might be able to contribute a good drive or a good chip or a good putt.
Yeah. It's just starting to boil. So I'll let it boil for about a minute. It's not what you usually do, I think it says, but.
And we're continuing to clean up as we go, like we tell you kids, don't buck passing. No buck passing.
You virtually just need it to boil to dissolve that sugar down.
So
I think, right? Isn't that the only reason? Or maybe you have to do something with that corn syrup.
I swear on one of my recipes from Grandma it said a minute, but
yeah, probably.
Maybe not. And then it gets where it thickens it up.
Yeah,
more.
that's probably. It's probably the corn syrup. You got to get it to boiling so it gets.
Just like a popcorn ball or something. It keeps it together like that.
Some of you might wonder how you know what each par is for the holes, how to keep score. Every golf course has a golf score sheet. It's a card that you can keep with a little pencil and keep a tally on your shots for that hole, and then write down how many total shots you had or strokes for that hole. Some people even have a little tally thing that they can keep track of, and they punch it every time that they have another stroke. In this day and age, there's probably an app for your phone if you want to keep track. I suppose there is. I'm talking back in the dark ages, like when my dad or brother used to play golf when I was a kid. But at any rate, there is how should I'm going to address this. There is a temptation to cheat in golf. Very uncool. Very uncool. We don't cheat at any games, especially golf, which is what we're focusing on today. A lot of times you could say if you hit something off into the woods or something, you could maybe kick the ball so nobody knew it, or you could replace the ball so nobody knew it, and then take a shot from a better position or a better place. Uncool, guys.
Yeah.
It's just, it shows what kind of character you have. It shows that you maybe are not a person of honesty, that you're a person of deceit. And that's, again, even when you play games, it's reflective of your character. So keep that in mind. There might be a temptation because you want to win so badly to cheat, but we don't do that in any game, and particularly in the game of golf, okay? Where you've got a lot of opportunity where people aren't watching, okay?
Yeah, and you're forever known as a cheater if you do it.
That's right. You just, it's
Then
part of
they
your
won't
reputation.
trust ya, yeah.
And you don't want to do that, kids. It is tempting, but because again, there's lots of times on a course people aren't watching, or they lose count and take you on your honor or on your word. How many did you have, Jane? How many did you have, Ann? And you're tempted to go a couple less or something. Don't do it, kids. It's just not worth it.
Even if you have a clicker, that's better than, you know, some people won't remember.
Now, if you accidentally do it, that's one thing. We're talking about if you intentionally
Oh, yeah.
fudge on your score. It's just not cool. So don't get in the habit. Don't even start. It's not worth winning one game over to ruin your reputation.
No.
Not to mention it brings on bad karma.
Yeah.
Megan is
anything
very
like
into
that.
karma, and she said it's not good karma.
That's true. I
Should
think
always
karma.
be a good person.
Always be a good person.
Mhm. Or try to be. I know we're not perfect.
Yeah.
We're not in, you know, certain people's image or whatever, but we can try. Keep trying to be a better person. You know?
Well, I've worked around golf
We're all
courses.
human.
I worked 2 years at our local country club, and in those days it was called the country club. And I tell you, people admire more people that are in good spirits regardless of how well they play. If they are completely honest and can laugh about it, oh geez, I had 9 on that green, what have you, or even if they're angry,
Yeah.
they're honest about it.
Exactly.
But yet they can go into the clubhouse and be in good spirits and not be angry at people, not throw clubs. It's just, you need to be a good sport in the game of golf like every other game, okay?
That's for sure. I added the cup of peanut butter to that melted Karo sugar and what's the other things?
Was it butter in there?
Butter, yes. And now I'm gonna put it into a greased 9x13. Make a mess there.
It's okay.
You can wipe that out, can't you? Lick it out or whatever.
Darn right. I'm your caddy.
Yeah, your caddy.
I forgot to mention, that's what the person is that helps the professional golfer or someone in a tournament. The caddy, it helps them figure out what club to use to take their next shot. Caddies do get paid. Caddies will get paid a lot of times proportion to how well their player does. The more that their player makes, the more the caddy typically makes.
Do they make
I
10%?
assume. I'm not sure, but I believe it's typically a percentage of what
Yeah.
their player makes that they're helping with carrying their bags and selecting their clubs, okay? So caddying's a big deal too. But here in the kitchen, Jane and I are each other's caddies. Instead of the course, it's right here in the old kitchen. So now what are you putting in the microwave, Jane, to finish
I'm
this
just,
dish
no,
up?
they're kind of still not melted, which is weird. For the butterscotch and chocolate chips.
And tell us again how many are in there. I got them off whack.
How many what?
How much of each
Oh,
is
it's
in
like
there?
a cup each.
Okay.
Yeah.
Butterscotch and chocolate chip.
Yep,
roll.
yep.
Now are these semi-sweet chocolate chips?
I did semi-sweet, so
Okay.
it wouldn't be overly sweet. Is that what you use? Or
Yep.
you, yeah.
Just so the kids know, there's lots of different kinds of chocolate
Yeah,
chips
you
too.
can use milk chocolate.
There's milk chocolate, dark chocolate, and semi-sweet morsels.
And you can really add however much you want. It just depends on, some people like more frosting, some people like less frosting.
Mm-hmm.
But try always, I think usually you want an equal amount of both, depending on how much, right?
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
think so.
I guess you could probably do all semi-sweet or all milk chocolate if you don't like the butterscotch, maybe. But
Or again, like you say,
traditionally,
Or peanut butter and chocolate.
traditionally it's half and half of equal portions, but like Megan said, you can cut down how much you make of it, or you can put more of butterscotch or more of chocolate if you like that flavor more.
I did about half and half, yeah. And then I suppose being their SCOTcheroos, you better have butterscotch, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
But you wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
We're just doing it today.
Now, Jane, do you have to use Rice Krispie bar or treats?
You
Or Rice
don't. You
Krispies.
don't have to. No, you don't have to.
Did we already cover that? I don't think we
think
did. If you don't use Rice
Maybe not.
Krispies for SCOTcheroos, what other cereal could you use?
Your Special K.
Special K. Now, kids, we had a little debate about this before we went on air. I thought that SCOTcheroos were made with Special K cereal because
I did too.
my friends that make a lot of it just swear by the Special K. Jayne brought Rice Krispie with her because she had some to use up from her treats. And I said, no, Jayne, we've got to go get Special K. And I was so wrong. We looked it up, and SCOTcheroos are traditionally with Rice Krispie cereal. But if you wanted to make it with Special K cereal, you can.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will then call them Special K bars. And they're made the same exact way, same exact frosting. But don't be surprised if now you have people make a distinction between SCOTcheroos with Rice Krispie treats with this frosting of semi-sweet and butterscotch morsels versus
Do you think they
Special K.
originally started with Special K?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't even
know.
know
It's like
where.
back when
I
my-
think
that's how
it
my grandma
originally
did it.
probably started. I don't know where Special K's came from.
Okay.
I would think it started with Rice Krispies, and I don't know why.
So, but are you saying Special K treats are the same as, basically the same, but
Well,
with
they're
rice?
made as the same, just
The
a
same.
different cereal.
Wow.
they're made exactly the same.
amount,
Same amount,
same
everything.
measurement, same everything.
Wow.
It's just
Okay.
if you want to substitute Special K, Kellogg's Special K cereal instead of Rice Krispies, you can. But we looked it up. Traditionally, it's with Rice Krispies, and if you get somebody that's really being picky, they'll probably correct you if you call this a Special K bar, obviously, because it's not, or if you call a Special K bar a SCOTcheroo,
Mhm.
because technically it's supposed to be with Rice Krispie cereal.
There's
Okay.
lots of debates with different states. If you look on social media, they'll get in fights about
Really?
it all the time.
Wow.
No, that's not a Scotcheroo, that's a Special K bar, back and forth all the time.
Like lots of things are area
Yeah.
wise, how people
Yeah.
do it by the area. So kids, now you see the entire meal here. If we get the donut holes close by.
Yes.
Again, now you see we've started with, if you wanted now, we didn't do it in this order this week, but if you wanted to start with breakfast or another option for dessert, here's our hole-in-one donut holes that Janie made for us. We also then made some tea
Mhm.
and some
Okay.
lemonade and made our Arnold, that's so hard for me to say.
It
Arnold
is
Palmer.
really
Me
hard.
Okay, that's our
Alright.
beverage. Okay, then Janie made us some potato chips, homemade, again without preservatives. Put them in the air fryer so there was no grease or fat or shortening. Then I made us some homemade party dip instead of having to buy
so
it
good.
off the shelf. Then we made a nice club sandwich. Okay, so that was very delicious as well.
Oh, very.
Now this is how it's presented all together. The chips dip in the sandwich with some pickle spears that Janie brought. And now finally, either as a second option or our only option for dessert, are SCOTcheroos, which are then giving tribute to the history of golf over at St. Andrews, Scotland. Okay, so that pretty much will wrap up our golf week. Another wonderful week to have as we enjoy our
That's
summer
beautiful.
days. It's just a perfect day here in Iowa. Jane, what would you say in signing off until our next episode?
Well, I hope you're trying out some of our recipes, and I hope you write to us and let us know, comment on it.
Well, I don't know if they know how to, except
Oh,
how do they comment until we have a blog?
there's a place to comment on
Comment section.
yeah,
like,
comment
If
section
you scroll down
of the YouTube.
Okay, just so they know.
Yeah.
So the comment section of the YouTube,
on each video.
on
has a
each
comment
video, you
section.
can make comments, and we would really appreciate reading them. Maybe added suggestions or thoughts or concerns. One thing Megan pointed out is we misspoke again when we made the monster cookies. We said we left nuts out of them for peanut allergy kids. Well, how stupid. There's peanut butter in monster cookies. I thought of it later too, but thank God Megan
Oh, well.
reminded me. Technically, if you make monster cookies and you have a peanut allergy, you need to keep the peanut butter out of there too, okay? So we try to correct things as we catch them off air, all right? So until next time, Jane, what would you say in signing off?
Stay
Anything more?
safe, and we love you.
You betcha. If you can't enjoy the game of golf yet, either by miniature golf or you're not old enough or not interested, find something else you love to do outside. It's just a couple months away before fall is here. We're going to have lots of fun fall things that we can do inside and out, especially in the kitchen. We'll enjoy that when it comes, but let's enjoy every day as it comes. Let's just live for the day. let's live like it's our last, even though we hope and pray
Yeah.
that there's many, many more to come, and I'm sure for most of us there are. All right? So until next time, we love you,
Hey, we
and
love
we
you.
hope we see you next time on Now We're Cooking.